Happy Virgo season, everyone. This is interesting. I'm excited about this video. It's the title of the video had come through. I had channeled it a long time ago, and it's a very interesting topic when it comes to manners. And if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a channel. I channel information for the collective. My quest, if you will, is to find and help guide the new leadership team for the awakened new earth. So here at my multidimensional cafe, it's really just you and I transcending time and space, and we're having a coffee or a tea. We're talking about astrology, the awakened world, and how we can really utilize and understand this, the astrology, the spiritual jargon, the woo-woo, if you will. I just love saying woo-woo. It's just so satisfying for our highest and greatest good and be very efficient in our processes. And so I want to get started right away. So I'm going to sage if you want to pause the video while I sage and go grab a coffee or a tea, some water, and your journal. I'm going to offer some key dates to look out for in Virgo season and what we can kind of expect from this energy. And we're going to chat a little bit at the beginning about why manners matter. I feel like this is going to be a very triggering. That's such a like a hot word to use right now. And my friend had kind of rebranded it, which I really liked, to activating. And also triggers. We'll just go pause the video, we'll get started. Okay. So I have a whole video on what is a light worker and why do they trigger me so much. And so I'll put that below. But a trigger is when you see something outside of yourself, or you experience something outside of yourself that invokes a little bit of the sleeper cell that you have going on. And also for anyone that's new here, I think I'm going to do an entire new, a introduction to my YouTube channel because I want everyone to feel welcome. There's been so many new people here. So I just wanted to welcome everyone to the cafe. I'm so grateful for you. Around here, we speak from I statements. It is a really lovely community that literally, YouTube helps us transcend time and space. Like, I'm in Gloucester, Massachusetts. I know it's Massachusetts, but every time I say it. But I'm in Gloucester in the United States, a little East Coast island town. Where are you? And when are you? Yeah, that's multidimensionality for you. And so this is your chair right over here. And this is the general astrological wheel. Starts in Aries and go all the way around over to Pisces. So yeah, I think I'm going to do a whole introductory video just for the channel so you kind of have a little bit of like what is going on around here, because it might feel as though you are waking up and jumping into this in the middle of a quantum, multidimensional, metaphysical, like odd little like battlefield that's going on that is kind of like summer or winter 2024, wherever you are on the planet, and you're right on time. And so in the description, there's a little bit of a, not disclaimer, but I guess for lack of a better term, that just says my voice and looking into my big old bug eyes, it's meant to unlock codes within you. So if anything that I say, you feel as though it's going way over your head, just sit back, have some coffee or tea, and it'll just really integrate into you. And maybe your dreams will be a little bit cuckoo pants. Maybe you'll just have some experiences within your everyday life. Like, that just makes sense. It just makes sense. So where do I want to start? Oh, and also because I'm a channel, I've got like right now, probably like 5 screens open at one time. And so when I'm looking at you, my guides are showing me a picture over here. I have a little screen over here, and then I have another screen over here. So it's like, it's a big old view. It's a big old view of kind of like all different things that are going off all at the same time. I can thank my Atlantean past self for being able to see in such a galactic way, completely sober and clear. So I'm very, very grateful for all the things. I think that's the introduction. I think that's it. So why do manners matter? We talked about in Leo season, and I put the link for that below, which is, we're kings and queens. We're all kings and queens. And we spoke about reverence for ourselves. We spoke about, treating ourselves and treating our community members and the people around us, which is an extension of ourselves. How you feel about yourself really reflects the environment that you're in. And how we treat ourselves, how we treat the people around us, that's how we love ourselves. And so when we have, classic manners, for lack of a better term, I think my guides are showing me the parable of swearing. if you've been around here for a while, you know that I used to swear like the Dickens. I used to swear like a sailor, like an Irish dock worker. It's, I come from service, and I just would literally, it was intense. And now, even when I was recording my full moon and Aquarius video called RBF, I like spelled out BIT, because I didn't even, it feels so disturbing to swear nowadays. And so that's just because as a channel, the angels don't really like it. My guides don't really like it. There's not really that like crassness in the world, or out there in their paradigms and dimensions. They kind of are just like, oh, you just fatted, Sarah. So it's a very interesting type of a view for me, where I just don't want to fart in front of my guides or in front of galactic beings. The angels, that's just a me preference. And there was another parable that I wanted to give. Oh, yes. And so the first time that I ever found out, like I was in middle school, I've told this story numerous times, the first time I ever heard the F word. And I was in middle school, I didn't know what it was. And so I was a, good girl back then. And so I was like, okay, I'll just go ask mom what that means when I get home from school today. So I went home, and I'll never forget, I've told the story for years. My mom was undoing my braids, and I just literally go, Mom, what does F word mean? And she spun me around and she slapped me across the face. And so the more I do inner child healing, reparenting, and, mother-father healing, I just don't need to swear for extra attention anymore. And I want all of my channels and my information to be accessible and available for everyone. The reason that I work with leaders is because, I've met leaders from all over the world that, are in service, in corporate. I come from corporate. I've been training teams. I'm for over 10 years, 12 years now. I can never go back into that world. But, the reason that I feel so passionately about this language and about what it is that I'm doing is because, in leadership, wherever in corporate, everyone likes to be efficient in their processes. But sometimes they would be speaking spells within, going against the laws of the universe, or, having judgments, or having, poor manners, for lack of a better term, within the woo-woo space that kept them in the paradigm that they were. Like leaders, or, people with a growth mindset, or people that are very healthy, they go to the gym, they do all of these things, but you see them and they're these like diamonds in the rough, and they're just so bright, and you're like, why are you stuck here? What is going on? It might have to do with the manners and the things that you're speaking unconsciously or subconsciously. Just a thought. I'm having a full body reaction to that. The titles of the videos sometimes come through. The title Manners Matter came through maybe at the beginning of Leo season. If you remember, please comment below. I think it was the beginning of Leo season that the title came through. So there is a little bit of an image that my guides were giving me before because I always ask them, like, is there anything that I need to know before going into this channel, before going into this video? And they showed me this image, and I'm going to try my very best to paint it, where, everyone, there's like, pretend like we're in a big field, and there's just like tons of people everywhere. And over here on this side, there's these like lovely bougie picnics. And we're just sitting there with our coffee or tea, and we're just chatting, just like random strangers. Nobody knows each other. It's not like communities. It's not like, oh, we're all together and you're all together. It's just people from all over the world, just like this cafe. I love every single one of you, and I'm just rooting for you, and I want you to have every single thing in your life. I hope you know that. And so everyone's over here. There's like, yeah, it's this big field, and there's tons of people, and there's, all of this. Okay, I'll just paint the stage before the people. So there's this huge field, and on one side, there's bougie picnics and coffee and tea and snacks and charcuterie boards and everything and juices, regardless of what you want. It's like everything's ambrosia over here. And then over here, there's just a line in the sand, like a red line. And so now the people, there's just people over here on the line, on the divide, that are just screaming at each other across the line, where they're like, you're on that side of the line and you're wrong because you chose that side of the line. And the other person is like, I can't believe you chose that side of the line. You're on that side. What is wrong with you? Why would you stand on that side of the red line? And then everybody over here in the picnic is just, they're not really watching, but they're just like, this coffee's really good. And this person's like, oh my God, my juice is really good. Do you like this food? I really like this food. Oh my God, it's such a beautiful sunny day. Look at those flowers and just the way the cicadas are just singing to us. I'm so grateful. I have fingers and toes. Do you have fingers and toes? I have fingers and toes too. Oh my God. And people are like, oh my God, I really love the way that you wear, these earrings, or the way that you have tattoos. I don't have tattoos, but I'm so fascinated by them. And they're like, oh my God, you wear cool colors. Don't wear cool colors, but I really love the way that they just bring out the pop and the twinkle in your eye. And then every once in a while, someone from the other side of the field that's screaming at each other, they just look over and they're like, I'm kind of hungry. I'm just going to walk over here. And they just, without pomp and circumstance, a switch gets flicked in their brain. I'm in full body chill. And they're just like, they come over and people are like, oh my God, welcome. Do you want coffee? Do you want tea? Do you want juice? What do you like? There's clean water. We get it from the spring. What do you want? And it's just, there's everything at every table. So it's not like you have to go to the juice table or the coffee table or this table. It's just, you just come over. And the person that you were yelling at, they just find another person to yell at that's on that other side. There's literally, all they're yelling about is that you're on the other side of the line. You're on the other side of the line. But that's literally all they're saying is, I can't believe you're just on the other side of the line. And then every once in a while, somebody just like, boop, and comes over and just has coffee. So I have no idea what that's about. But that's just the image that my guides had given me for today. So I'm excited about that. That's a beautiful image. And so many people are having that experience where they're just kind of like tuckered out. They just don't want to yell at somebody for being on the other side of the line because they're a person. And when it comes to, I don't even want to say manners, but I'm going to use it for lack of a better human term. When it comes to, I'll say paradigms, that's what I'll use. That's the term that I'll use. And we're going to speak in lenses. We're going to really parlay over to the lens of astrology. I wear these big old glasses, so we're going to understand a little bit of the energy of the world right now via the lens of astrology next. And so, what was I saying? When it comes to paradigms and when it comes to reality, the person that drinks coffee, for a person that drinks juice, they couldn't picture the fact that I've been drinking straight espresso this morning. They're like, that is just outside of my world. That is absurd. But that's my reality. And I couldn't imagine, getting up and, running like 10 miles first thing in the morning for pleasure. Wow. That is not my paradigm. But people do that and they feel just as vibrant as I do carrying kettlebells across the gym first thing in the morning. Neither is right or wrong. It's just a paradigm. Think of now, just loop it back around to yourself. Think of, I am completely sober. I haven't had alcohol for many years, but I used to ingest cannabis for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the better part of 14 years. And now I couldn't imagine waking and baking like I used to. That's a totally different, but my human being lives in the same apartment, drinks the same cup of coffee that she used to have, literally drives the same car, sleeps in the same bed. Actually, bedroom is a different mattress. I got the king size. But yeah, so maybe spend some time with some notes, maybe pause this video and just make a note. Like, what is a paradigm that you're in, that you used to be in, that you changed so much from? And look at how quickly you shifted. Yeah, even in this year, maybe just do a year and look at how much you've changed since last Virgo season. All right, let's get into the astrology for today. So what I'm going to do is talk about, I'm going to kind of place down the planets for the 22nd of August, which is the first day of Virgo season. Actually, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I want to go through some key dates. All right. What I'm going to do first is put down the planets that aren't really making any big changes. We're going to start outward and then we're going to go inward. Yeah, I'll start there. So the North Node, I'm going to just move your chair right over here for just 1 second. I'm just going to scoot us in. So the North Node right now is in Aries, give or take at 8 degrees. And the South Node, always in complete opposition, 8 degrees of Libra. In the playlist, the longer range transits, I have a whole video on this. And so I'm not going to repeat all of myself, but all we know about the North Node and the South Node is that the North Node is what we're coming into. It's the head of the dragon, our collective destiny. We're all going into our Aries, these are lenses, our independence, our self, storefront view of my life. The Aries is the infant baby ram. They're the first sign of the zodiac. So the North Node in Aries is saying we're all going into the most independent, entrepreneurial, I am source having a human experience and I want to be in control of my reality. We're sovereign beings. That's what we want to do around here. And then over here, the South Node is what we're releasing. Past life, for lack of a better term, like patterns. And the South Node in Libra is we're releasing codependent patterns. You can smell a freaking liar from a mile away. And so I find that to be very, very fascinating. You know what? This is not the way that I'm going to do this. I'm going to go through step by step because the North Node and the South Node are making a conjunction to Lilith later on, and there's some aspects that I want to talk about. So I'm just going to go through this step by step and just see how it goes. That just wasn't the flow that I wanted to do. So the 22nd, we have the sun going into the sign of Virgo over here. This is the 22nd of August. This is the 6th house of the astrological wheel, which is everyday life and practical service. Like I had said in the August 2024 video, I'm going to put the link for that below, called Quick Change. Going from Leo season, which is play, creativity, romance, king and queen, childlike spirits, into Virgo season, you know, this is when a lot of people go back to school. And it's just like the hit of fall. This is one of the biggest, in my personal practice and opinion, one of the biggest changes. We're like, all right, well, I live in like Massachusetts. Yeah. I was chatting the other day. I literally, you can smell pumpkin spice season calling. It's still beach weather. You can, this is Halloween, Halloween. It's coming. It's happening. In the same way, when we go from Pisces season to Aries season, which is in March, same thing happens in the East Coast, in New England. The second the sun goes into Aries, the spring, even if people don't have this language, they're sitting at the beach, they're there, they're wearing shorts. It could be snowing. It has been snowing. And people are just like, nope, it's nice out. It's the season. I'm already here for it. I'm sorry, raise of hands. Who's excited for pumpkin spice season? Who's literally just like, nope, it's Halloween. You can smell it coming. You can feel it coming. This is one of the biggest changes. I'd say, you know, going from Cancer season to Leo season, not as much of a change. This one, definitely the August 2024 video could be for you. I speak about a lot of the same dates, but with different lenses. The month to month is probably more for my entrepreneurs and my leaders, people that are still in the corporate setting or still use that growth mindset more often. And my seasonal videos, when it talks about, you know, going from Virgo season and then the equinox season, things like that, a little bit more for my spiritual people. But we're not so different. Here we all sit at the same table. So going into Virgo season, very, very fascinating because we all kind of have this like, no, I want to get things done. I want to study something. I want to do this. I want to, you know, we're getting ready to hibernate soon over here in the East Coast. And also for the people in the Southern Hemisphere, you're coming into the like, summer's coming. I'm ready to be more active. I want to have, like, we're feeling the shift and the change. And the sun in the sky over here, that's just like a lighthouse. It's just showing you what's going on. This is our everyday habits. The 6th and the 12th house, this is the health axis. This is when we think about our patterns. A lot of my, oh my goodness, Aquarius is going through in my all signs reading. If this resonates with you, it's for you. Aquarius, Sagittarius, they're going through some addiction stuff right now. This Virgo is looking at addiction stuff right now, but could just be ingestion. It could be the content you're ingesting, the food, the sugar. Maybe you want to like take a break or go through a detox. This is the time to be doing it if that resonates with you. I want us to really rebrand triggering to be like, I'm not coming at you, bro. All I'm saying is that if that invokes something in you that says, I just want to turn her off, I want to unfollow, I want to unsubscribe, this isn't for me, just pause the video and look at that and just say, wow, I just got activated. Do I have something that I want to look at? Do I have something inside of myself? Literally, the first person that told me that they were getting downloads that I'm not supposed to ingest cannabis flower, I was like, you just stop right there. You just stop right there. That's absurd. And Mary Jane, she's my friend. But I had to go through a very, very big arc to come back to, I couldn't imagine doing that. Okie dokie. So that's the 22nd. I also want to highlight this. Interesting that I put down the North Node and the South Node. That in January 2025, we're going all over the place, but I promise I'm starting to mention January 2025 because that's when the North Node is going to go into Pisces and the South Node is going to go into Virgo. What did we just talk about? North Node is the head of the dragon, what we're going into, and the South Node is what we're releasing. So if you have, and it took me months, it took me the better part of 6 months to really understand why the cannabis needed to be removed. I need to be a clear channel. I need to stay clear as possible to receive messages, to channel them for the collective. This isn't just for me. This isn't just about me. I'm here to offer my gifts as a present to the world. I know, it's just beautiful. I love words sometimes. And so when the South Node is in Virgo, that might be the time that you actually change your habits in your current paradigm. But we have to remember that our habits dictate our trajectory. Our habits are what the entire paradigm around you. What you see is created with your thoughts, words, actions, and intentions. So if you do not yet have what it is that you want, it's because A, you're not ready for it yet, and B, your habits are not of the person that can receive it. I know that this is a lot to handle, but that's where the growth mindset comes in. So I'm sorry I'm hitting between the eyes for a lot of people, but this is tough stuff. But if we actually utilize these energies for our development, and I'm saying, hey, my friend, across time and space, be aware and cognizant of what your habits are now. And then maybe in January 2025, that will be when you're ready to release them. A lot of people that ingest spirits, that ingest alcohol, if they literally went sober, their entire body would have a very unsafe reaction. So I don't recommend for everyone to go cold turkey. Just be aware and say, wow, I'm just going to revere this habit now. If we know, I'm just listening to my guides. So I've listened to a lot of channelers that have spoken about, after the flash of light, after the awakening, whatever it may be, whatever language you have of that we won't be ingesting animal products as much anymore because we'll be able to really connect telepathically to the animals. I eat a lot of meat. I really do. And I am conscious of it. I pray over it. Grass-fed, organic, all of those things, free range, because that's what my human body right now, that's the paradigm that I'm in. So the first time I heard that, my brain glitched and I was like, absolutely not. That's not my paradigm. Where am I going to get my protein? Absolutely. That's not for me. But then my guides reminded me is that you cannot see past that moment in time, Sarah, and you're not meant to. So maybe just revere everything that you're ingesting and eating now as ambrosia, and then intuitively when that moment comes that you're not supposed to do that anymore, you'll just effortlessly shift and change. But don't get triggered by that. Just know that that's coming. Yeah, the last few times that I ingested cannabis, I was just like, this is the best day. This is the best day. And then one day I just didn't need it anymore. It just happened without soapboxing, without pomp and circumstancing, without, I'm not afraid anymore. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you know, like a lot of people I've seen before, like the cringe thing when they're like, someone's telling me that they're going off social media and then they tell me that they're coming back to social media. It's like, no, my friend, just do you. And if somebody needs you, they will know when to find you. They will message you and they will find you. It's so okay. But we don't have to say I'm the different version of myself because tomorrow you'll be the next version of yourself. It will just happen and you'll just be in what you're in. So this could be a nice way to say from now until 2025, yeah, we're going into an earth sign, and then going into the new year, it's an earth sign. So very grounded. We're in a mutable earth sign right now. Virgo is run by Mercury. We're going to talk about Mercury next. And so that's a really great way for us to chat with ourselves, with our spirit team, with our higher self, with our guides, with our future self about what is it that I'm experiencing right now? What doesn't suit my needs? What doesn't my future self do? What does my future self do? You know? And I have a donation-based digital download. The link is for all my digital products is below for my Gumroad for meeting your higher self. If a little bit of this language is not your language, that's donation-based. You just pay a penny. You can use the term MAX, M-A-X, to make it completely free so you don't have to pay the penny, as well as Sarah's Protocol. That's a free digital download to start to kind of understand some of the woo-woo for my leaders that are at the table. Okay, so let's get into Mercury. This is on the 28th of August is when Mercury goes direct in the sign of Leo at 21 degrees, right over here. Mercury is our communication planet. I have many resources for you talking about Mercury retrograde, that time period. Mercury went retrograde on the 5th of August in Virgo. On the 14th of August, went back into Leo, and now on the 28th is going to go direct in Leo. My Substack is for you. The link for my Substack is below. This could be a good time to do shadow work. I'm looking at when you're going to see this. Yes, I'd say from now until the 28th of August, you can do some shadow work. There's a whole Substack article about meet one shadow self, and I have some exploratory questions for you. After that, don't do shadow work because it's too close to the new moon. So yeah, if you want to do shadow work, do it before the 28th of August, or you can do it on the 28th of August and kind of just do a little bit of like the month past, like a debrief with yourself. As far as how I was communicating, what boundaries did I set? What did I really want? How did I express that? And how do I say? My 3 favorite questions, and I've talked about this a lot. I ask this to myself every Sunday. I ask this to myself, every month when I'm doing a debrief. What did I do well in the past time period that I'm discussing with myself? What did I not do so well, or what can I work on? And what is fully integrated? What do I never have to really work on again? What have I leveled up? So what did I do well? What did I not do so well, or what can I still work on? And what is fully integrated? So you can look at the 5th of August until the 28th of August. What did I do well? How did I communicate? What did I not do so well? What do I still have to work on? What am I taking with me? And what is done? And just leave it. Once we've processed a trauma or a trauma response and it's over, let it die. Just let it be dead. We got to be efficient in our processes. That's another thing I wanted to say. On the 22nd, I know I'm all over the place. The moon scoots. So I'm just going to highlight this really quick, is that the moon is at 9 degrees of Aries, conjunct the North Node, the moment that the sun goes into Virgo season. So I'm going back to the 22nd. I just found that auspicious because a lot of people are utilizing this energy. I know, it's just amazing that so many people are like, this is happening. Like, my guy, you came to the right table at the right time. I'm so happy that you're here. So the moon is our intuition. You seeing what it is that you have to do. A lot of people, especially around August 8th, the 8/8, the Lionsgate portal, Just go back into your journals. What dreams were you having? What ideas really popped through? What was going on for you then? And that's your North Star. That's your North Node. That's where you're supposed to go. Okay. 28th, Mercury goes direct. 29th is when Venus, our lovely planet, goes into the sign of Libra. And so like I said in the the August 2024 video, Libra, in August 2024, Venus was in 3 signs. Started in Leo, went into Virgo, and now is in Libra. Libra is run by Venus. Venus is run by Libra. So this is a beautiful placement. We're going to look at it as lenses right now. Venus, our yin, our love, our money, our abundance, our feminine, our soft planet, going into the sign of relationships. Yeah, if you've been waiting, now could be a really interesting time. If you have not been doing your work, Venus conjunct the South Node could be a very interesting time as well, where maybe, Libra is the scales. So I'm gonna kind of split it like a Gemini is what my guides are showing me. So if you've really been doing your work and working on yourself and really recognizing that like you're not hard to love, understand, or take care of, or nurture or nourish in any capacity, you might meet a soul match. You might meet someone. It could be a community member. It could be a partner if you've been manifesting a partner. You might fall more in love with your current partner or want to really just love up on them a little bit. That could be a very big possibility. If you have not been really looking at your stuff, or you've kind of been in, I want to be gentle here. My guys are like, no, we can't be gentle. If you've been frustrated, bitter, and holding on to a story, you're going to perpetuate that story. What do you mean by that, Sarah? What you speak, your spells, that's your world. Your thoughts, words, actions, and intentions create your paradigm. So if you say, today's going to be a great day, God's like, done. Got you. Got you. If you say, today's a crappy day, they want more crappy things. Still single. Make her feel more single. I'm really surrounded by people that are like-minded. I am so grateful. I have the right people in my life, and I just trust the universe to bring them to me at the right time. So different. So different. And so that way, when Venus does conjunct with the South Node, where's that, the 4th? Oh, no, wait. I didn't even write it down. Interesting. I love that for you, Sarah. I love that for you. Well, Venus will eventually be in Libra, conjunct the South Node in opposite of the North Node. I'm sorry, I didn't write that down. It's because there's 2 North Nodes that you can follow, the mean and the true. And then it's also, I just wanted to time out and say, that's why there's a conjunction on the 6th of the North Node in Lilith, but it really depends on what North Node you follow, what Lilith you follow. So I didn't want to say it's going to be on the 6th because it is for some people, but it's not for other people. So whatever Lilith you follow, whatever North Node you follow, do your own research as to like what day exactly they conjunct, and that will be an important thing to talk about, because right now Lilith is in Libra, regardless of which one you follow. She's going from the 22nd, she's going to be at 6 degrees of Libra. So this is all the wild woman, wild man inside of us, how we love, and old patterns. So this is a lot of like, it's like you're walking through a haunted house of all of your old ghosts, and all you have to say is like, no, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not that person anymore. And use all the tools that you've been building for the past few years to just be like, no, it's okay. I'm okay waiting my turn to when the person that is my soul's match, when they find me, when I find them. I don't want an 8 out of 10. I don't want a 6 or 7 out of 10. I don't even want a 9.5 out of 10. I'm fine being with me because I'm a 10 out of 10 for me, and waiting until the right person finds me at the right time or the right job opportunity. This could be all different things, relationships, the important people, seeing God in another. So like we said at the beginning, how you feel about yourself is going to reflect in the people that you surround yourself with, that you see in your current paradigm. I'm hearing some of you say, like, Sarah, that's a very bold statement. Like, I live in a city, I live here, I live here, I live here. Well, yeah, if you live in a city, then you obviously are surrounded by people that vibrationally have the values of, I prefer city life. I prefer, you know, a fast-paced environment. I'm a go-getter. I'm this, I'm that. So there are values. You could go to values, Uranus and Taurus. We'll talk about Uranus. I'll just put him up because I just mentioned him. On the 22nd, he's at 27 degrees of Taurus. Uranus has been in Taurus for a very long time. This is money, values, and access to resources. So what are your top 5 values? What do you value most? And that will show you the environment, macro or micro, that you surround yourself with. I think that hit. 29th we talked about. Okie dokie. Now we're going to talk about September. We're going to go into September and talk about some dates. And the title of that video, I'll do a whole video on September 2024, has not fully come through, but all I just kept hearing was like fireworks, pops, all this different thing, like pop, crack, like just snap. I'm just going to write down snap, parentheses. Because we start off with an absolute banger of a day on the 1st of September, which is Uranus, the planet we just talked about, which is our lightning bolt planet. This is our collective awakening. And when it comes to lightning, we can't really predict when or where it's going to strike. So Uranus transits, they can bring yesterday, never, 20 years from now, tomorrow, in this moment, whatever that may be. This in the side of Taurus, which is money, values, access to resources, but also fixed negative earth energy. This is why there's so much happening. People want to have, you know, homesteads. They want to buy land. There's issues apparently with food and all these different things. That, like the agriculture, has been a lens of focus in the macro because it's such a slow burner, slow mover. So Uranus going retrograde is joining the retrograde party, honest to goodness. What do I have? I have Saturn, I have Neptune, I have Pluto, and I have Chiron all retrograde. Chiron's not really a big player this month, so I'll put Chiron up. He's retrograde over here. Neptune is retrograde at 29 degrees of Pisces, and he's only going to move to 28 degrees of Pisces in the entire season. I'll talk about you in a second. Saturn is retrograde. I don't think that anything that I'm watching is going on for Saturn. It's just not. There's lots happening with Saturn. Saturn's at 17 degrees retrograde. There's a square going on of Jupiter over here in Gemini and Saturn in Pisces, a little square. That's a big gulp because it's like you come up to an intersection and somebody's got to move, somebody's got to go. Jupiter's our abundant, expansive planet. Saturn is our interdisciplinarian, squaring off to each other. This is happening in a very collective way. These are slow burners, slow movers. I'll highlight the work of Pam Gregory. She is an incredible astrologer. So if you're keen for more information on that astrology, she has an entire video on that. Yes, astrology is a lens that I view things through, but it's not my only lens. So I will just highlight someone else's work. I have numerous videos on Jupiter and Gemini in the longer range transit playlist. I also have a video on Saturn in Pisces. Mental health is no joke right now. So many resources just on those two planets, literally hours of resources I've just given you on that. So I'm not going to talk about them very much here, but Jupiter is kind of slowing down this month. So where were we? The very first, Uranus is going retrograde, as well as Pluto is going back into Capricorn. This is the final stand of Pluto and Capricorn for the entirety of our lives. This is a big deal. And so Pluto is our, oh my God, how do I even describe Pluto? I have 2 videos on Pluto in Aquarius. That's in the longer range transit playlist. This is the prophesized age of Aquarius. Pluto went into Capricorn for the first time. So we'll look at it as lenses. In 2008, Pluto is our Phoenix planet, runs the 8th house, deep transformation, death, shared possessions, all these different things. And so Pluto destroying to rebuild all things top down, all things Capricorn, legacy, public life, career, housing crisis, banking crisis, all different things that have been changing since 2008 until now. To my Capricorn placements, this, to me, I'm having a full body chill, is not going to destroy anything in your life. This is your chance to literally like stand in your Lilith, stand in your power and say, This is what I've learned. This is what I can offer the world. This is what I can do. It's not going to be a reprise in any way of what you've gone through. I don't feel that at all. I feel as though this is, you're gonna be like, nope, I've learned this and I'm ready to stand in my new paradigm. I'm ready to stand and hold truth for others behind me. Nothing that we master in this world is just meant for ourselves. In my personal opinion and practice in life, I'm just gonna quickly highlight, this is the Virgo card in the tarot. It's the number 9. He looks back to guide others, which is, I've been learning a lot about the Tarot de Marseille, which is the hermit isn't always looked at in the best capacity. He could be a drunk. He could be, hoarding his information to say, you can't have this unless you pay all of this money. It's very much so, paying for spiritual information is a beautiful thing. The spiritual leaders and guides, such as myself, yeah, we charge money for it. We charge money for what it is that we're doing. But at the same time, I give hours and hours and hours for free. Hours of information are available for you on my YouTube channel for free. I'm giving you discount codes to make anything for free. If you're keen I do a donation-based session every month. I have a donation-based client that literally brings me honey for the sessions that I offer. So you are never alone. But if you have mastered something and you want to take it how do I say? I want to be a multi-millionaire because I just want to sit on the beach and drink cocktails all day and just live my life, is probably not going to come to you. But if you want to offer something, like another why statement for me, my entire Waking Up Post-Woke series, if you want to know my human tale and, what I've gone through, I've lived many lifetimes in all different multidimensional lifetimes, but in this lifetime, I've lived a lot in 37 years. I have been, back in 2020, it's very efficient, my awakening, very efficient. Back in 2020, I was borderline homeless. I had gone through very odd, very strange sexualizations. I was screaming and in roaring pain and I wouldn't wish that experience, that feeling of having nowhere to go. Literally during that time period, all I wanted to manifest was a door that I could lock and no one else had the key. That time period, the free YouTube channelers, Lewis Howes' School of Greatness, Elizabeth April, I transformed my entire life because of free information. And so I care so much about this. This is my mission on this planet because I have no reason to have all of the things that I have if it's not to be helpful for someone else on this planet. So that's why I work with leaders. That's why I offer as much as I possibly can for donation-based, because I wouldn't be here, literally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people, if it wasn't for the free information. I didn't expect that, but I care so much about this, so much. And the most generous donations of my subscribers are getting me to the Summit of Greatness. I'm going to the Summit of Greatness in California. I haven't traveled since 2019. I want you to be able to hop paradigms. I want to be able to do this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to help as many people across the planet as I possibly can understand what's happening and not feel so confused. It is just my passion. I live and breathe this. And taking control of your own life is the only way that you will change your paradigm. Saying, this is my responsibility. I am my responsibility. I can do this. But you're not alone. So don't think that anything that you have is just for you. At least at my table. At least at my table. I'm going to take a sip of water. We're 44 minutes in. Thank you. Thank you. I try my best not to lose it in my videos, but it happens. So the first is a big gulp. Uranus goes retrograde and Pluto goes back into Capricorn. So look to your Capricorn friends, sun, moon, and risings. Look to your earth sign friends. Know that you're going to be fine and you're going to be okay. And if you have more questions or if you are in need of a session, this is the perfect time, retrograde season. Let me show you. Okay, so the north and the south would always go retrograde. So now we have Uranus retrograde, we have Neptune retrograde, we have Saturn retrograde, we have Pluto retrograde, we have Chiron retrograde. This happens every year. This is the time to really be looking for a mentor, someone to help you to recognize that you can't do this on your own. You can't, and you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. Hyperindependence is a trauma response. That's for someone. Somebody out there is like, no, I can do it on my own. I can do it on my own. No, you sinking into vulnerability and saying, I can't do this on my own. For example, there were many seasons of my life where I've been, how do I say? I had an eating disorder for the better part of 10 years, and then I got super big and fluffy, and then I exercised, and then I was doing yoga all the time, and then I Barbied my hip out of place. And then, in COVID time, I had a personal trainer, and I felt as fit as possible, but I was as confused as possible. And then I really was going to gyms and dancing around and not really doing stuff. And now I feel like I'm in a space where I have the strength, but I don't have the path. So I'm utilizing this Mercury retrograde. It's the 18th of August as I record this, to hire my chiropractor to be my personal trainer, just a program for me. I know what to do. I know how to utilize all the things, and I am well versed, but every time I show up, I'm like, what do I do? What's the tempo? I need direction. I need help. So I say to the person, this is your mastery. This is what you know how to do. This is where I want to be. Help me get there, and pay money for that. That's it. And we're not signing until after Mercury retrograde. Yeah. Okie dokie. So also, all right, we're going to get to that. Oh, the moon's over here. I need some more tape. Mars is a little not so sticky. So that's the first. That's going to be, I feel as though for us that have been doing our inner work, this is just could be something in the external, in the macro, that, shake, rattles, and rolls us. And that we're just like, okay, that's a dumpster fire. That's not my reality. I don't have to focus on that. But for my community, if I can see it and touch it and it's real, and if I have control over it, then it's a part of my reality. What can I do within my community? What is my community? Who are my VIPs, my home, my family, my team, my flock? Really decide what is your responsibility and then focus there. Because you doing that gives access for everybody else on the planet to do that. I have a whole video. It takes a certain level of disassociation to be a human in 2024. I'm covered in paint. That's literally how I am an artist and process, is I roll around in paint and roll around on a canvas while I'm doing extremely quantum healing work. I'm gone. I'm Ghostbusters 2, things shooting out of my eyeballs. But just recognize that pick one. In that video, I talk about picking one specific group of people that you can focus on and pray for that's outside of your current reality. For me, it's the children. I feel very, very near and dear to my heart, and the sexualization of children. That is what I pray for, and I send love and energy very, very hyper-focused on that. Not that I don't care about everything else that's happening on the planet. I send love to the whole planet usually, but super duper focused on that. So pick your flavor, pick your favorite. The 2nd of September, we're going to have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees. This is a big day. This is a big day. This is when my rates are changing. This is when I'm launching my self-mastery program, what is it called? Fundamental metaphysical practices for leaders and entrepreneurs. This is, do it, launch it, say yes to yourself, jump into the paradigm and act as that person at all times, as often as you can. That's I couldn't recommend that higher. I couldn't recommend utilizing that day as one of the most auspicious days, because the next full moon and the next new moon, that starts eclipse season. So this is your final moment until October 17th to really actively say to the God of your understanding, this is what I want, and I will focus and I will quadruple down on myself, to use Gary Vee language, like, this is your time. Do it. Shaking and with imposter syndrome screaming in your brain. Just do it. Chin up. You can do this. I believe in you. If you are given a task, we can use the religious language. If you are given a task and you are like, God, I have no idea how to do that. God's not checking your bank account. God is checking the quality and the content of your character and the light that you have inside of yourself. And you say, I will do what I can with what I have right now. And I will focus on that, and you will provide when the time is right. I will be that person. I will vibrate at as that person at all times. So if you're watching this before the 2nd of September and you would like to utilize my friends and family discount, you get locked in at the current rate that we book in that day. Like for anyone that's booking at my friends and family discount, we stay at my friends and family discount moving forward. But if you're booking a session from September 2nd on, I'm going to be having new rates, and I will be launching those rates after Mercury goes direct. So after the 28th of August, you will know what those rates are. I kind of Goldilocks. I'm not going back up to the full rate. It used to be $500 for the session, but I want it to be very accessible for as many people as possible while also sustaining my livelihood. So that's all I have to say about that. So that's new moon. I will have an entire workshop on that new moon, which will include an introductory video, the all signs reading, as well as the channeled message. So that's just something to look forward to. That's on the 2nd of September. So that's literally like, this is big stuff. I want you to stay the mother father course. I want you to stay hyper focused, blinders on. This is what I want. It's like walking over coals. Okie dokie, okie dokie. So the 4th of September, I'm going to do all videos on that, so I don't want to repeat myself there. The 4th of September is when Mars goes into the sign of Cancer. That's down here. Mars went into Gemini. Oh no. It's in a different journal. In July. I already went over to my 2025 journal, so I don't have the date that Mars went into. Nope, I don't. I don't have that. Yeah, I don't have the date that Mars went into Gemini. But there's many resources that I have on my Substack. My apologies, I don't have any computer or anything around me. But Mars in the sign of Gemini, we talked about that. That was Assy Spicy. Oh, I talk about it in the August 2024 video. As well as the Leo season? No, it's not in the Leo season. It's in the August. No, it's not. It's in the July. Yeah, it's in the July 2024 video. I'm not going to put the link below. You can find it. But I can't put all the links, but I want the ones that are like most important. But Mars in Gemini was Assy Spicy. It was Assy Spicy. And so Mars going into the sign of Cancer, this is, it's not that Mars doesn't like being in Cancer. It's not that Mars doesn't like being in Gemini. It's just that Mars is Aries and Scorpio. They want to really hit hard. And so Cancer being run by the moon, which is like the mothering home, my pocket of the world, safety is key. Yeah, if you come for somebody's belief systems, if you come for what they believe, think of that line in the sand, in the field at the beginning. If you come for what somebody believes is who they are, they're going to assert themselves. They're going to attack verbally. Mars is our assertive planet. It's our masculine planet. It's how we get things done. So Mars in Gemini, how was I communicating? How was I really processing my inner child and inner teenager wounds? And now let's look at our mother-father issues. Mother's over here, Capricorn father over here. Pluto just went back into Capricorn. If you have not been unpacking your mother-father issues, this will come up. It will come up. It will come up. It will come up. Look at your role in this. I have like so much in my self-mastery program is like, it's just 6 chapters, like hours and hours and hours of information for you to really help you understand why looking at this will change your life, will change your life. And why not looking at that will create environments where you continuously repeat patterns that maybe have come from your entire line, or maybe you'll attract someone to date that's very, like if you're a man and you're dating, you'll attract someone to date that's like your mother. And then you'll be like, wait, why are you like my mother? And then from females, you'll attract someone to date that's like your father. Like, you looking at that breaks that cycle and pattern. It's disgusting to look at. Yes, I know. I have videos in the toolbox for you, like Papa, Can You Hear Me? And then there was Mother. They don't get as many views because it's really disgusting to look at this stuff. It's really gross. It's, you know, there are so many lenses, there are generational issues, there's so many things that created this. It's no one's fault, but somebody has to be the one to be like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm looking at why I wanted this type of person, because that's the way that my mother or father acted when I was at my younger age, and that's what I believe safety is. Now that I've healed that and gone through the shame, I don't want to attract that anymore, nor will I entertain that type of person coming into my life. So that's exciting. That's on the 4th. And again, it really depends on what Lilith you follow, but that's the same day that Venus is going to be conjuncti-junct at the same point in the sky as Lilith, which is, you know, the wild man, wild woman inside of us, and understanding that, like, my friend, across time and space, if you take nothing else from this, know that you are not difficult to love. You are not difficult to understand. You are not difficult to take care of. You are not difficult or too much. You are not asking for too much. I just realized that this can't be seen. Sorry about that. You taking care of yourself gets to know that reality. And it's tough because then you know that, oh, my parents really didn't take the time to get to know me. It's not their fault. They were doing the best they could with the tools that they had. They had no idea what they were doing. No first-time parent knows what they're doing. Nobody knows. Nobody in this moment knows what they're doing. We're just figuring it out. Truly. Yeah. We're literally just figuring this out. We're literally just figuring this out. So take some pressure off. Take some pressure off. Is that everybody? I think that's it. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, North, South, and Chiron, Lilith. Okay, so the 4th, Mars goes into Cancer, and Venus conjuncts with Lilith at 7 degrees. If you follow the other Lilith, then find out exactly where Venus conjuncts the other Lilith, and then that will be for you. On the 6th, again, this is a Lilith and a North node. On the 6th, that's when the South node is going to conjunct Lilith, and the North node will be in opposition of Lilith. This is like, again, I'm listening to my guides. It can be very lonely when you look around your reality and you say, I don't see the people here in my future. I don't see them here. So just treat it like senior year. I know I talked about that in Gemini season, but treat it like senior year. Treat the reality that you're in with reverence, and you won't judge people. You just be like, wow, that's your experience, and this is where you are. Really go into the law of comparison, the universal law of comparison. You're no better than that person. You just have a different life that you're ready to lead. That's it. There's a lot of great information right now on my Substack about communities that are really shifting. In the toolbox, the playlist, the toolbox, relationships are drastically changing. That has a lot to do with the North node and the South node. So if you feel as though your community is cracking and shifting, or the person that you really used to spend so much time with doesn't have the time for you, or you're not able to do the things and you're kind of alone in the dark, light your own candle. Nourish your own candle and get to know yourself and be excited about spending time with yourself. Not alone, with yourself. Truly. This was something that's popping into my head, which is I had a client session, this was a while ago, where, you know, she knows that she's a part of a bigger community. She sees them and she's so excited to meet them and she's so excited for all these things. And she's also a projector in human design. So it's like, okay, well, you know that they exist. Why don't you set your habits as to like what you need to do with yourself? Projectors in human design, they need time alone with themselves in the woods, or having very, very specific one-on-one time with people. Like, you need to be sleeping in your own bed, having your own very, very specific time energetically, because you have that penetrating aura. So you can just literally become the perfect version of yourself for the people around you if you don't remind yourself physically by setting space. This is me. This is me. This is me. So I said, well, then you know that they exist because you exist. You see them in meditations. Just have your habits set. Just know what you do every day that's yours, because you can't have those celebrations every single day. Be like, all we're going to do is spend time together. And all we're going to do is this. All we're going to do is this. It's like, no, you know that every morning you're going to be in your own meditation. Every afternoon you're going to go for your walk. Every few days or during your flow cycle, you're going to do this and have people like come to you. So know what those habits are, so that the second you meet those people, you can have that celebration, but then you don't lose yourself in that. It's hitting. I know it's hitting. I know it's hitting. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right. I know I'm over an hour in, so I just want to get to the last few things, and then we're going to wrap it up with a bow. So on the 9th, we're going to have Mercury go back into the sign of Virgo. Mercury was in Virgo for a little bit. Mercury went into Virgo on the 25th of July. Mercury went back into Leo on the 14th of August, retrograde. So 25th of July, Mercury went to Virgo. 5th of August, Mercury went retrograde. What did I just say? 14th of August, Mercury went back into Leo. 28th of August, Mercury went direct. And now we're at the 9th of September. You can do some debriefing with yourself about communication, about asking for help, about addictions, about daily practices, about having standards for yourself and for your community and for the people that communicate with you. So I want you to have high standards. I want you to be able to say, honesty is a standard of mine. South Node in Libra, you can smell a liar from a mile away. And if someone is lying to you, you know that that's where they are. You know that that's where they are, so they cannot hear you when you tell them, I know that you're lying, but I love you. Like, they can't hear any of that because they're in a paradigm where lying is okie dokie. Let them be in that paradigm. Continue to walk the path of your life. Okay. The 17th is eclipse season. So when we give the reins to God. This is the 25th. 25 degrees. The 17th of September, full moon eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces. Although the North Node and the South Node dictate the axis where the eclipses fall. In the spring or the autumn, depending on your hemisphere, we've already had eclipses in Aries and Libra. This is auspicious. Just like those 2 full moons we had in Capricorn. It's auspicious. So we're releasing old soul purposes. This is the health axis. If you don't want to wait until January 2025, this is a moment to do it. This could also be if, okay, I'm having a full body chill. I'm just listening to my guides because there's like 30 different things that they're showing me right now. If something is going to physically harm you, if there's an addictive pattern that you're experiencing that will physically harm you, eclipses are when, if you've strayed off track of your soul's purpose, eclipses smash you back in. We don't really manifest. We kind of just literally hand the reins over to the God of our understanding. We're like, take me where I'm meant to be. Take me where my soul needs to be. Okay, so I've already mentioned my cannabis story, so I'm asking them because they're showing me a lot of what had happened to me in 2023 and going into 2024 and my process of removing cannabis flower from my life. So, like I said, I'd been smoking cannabis for the better part of 14 years. waking and baking, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It helped me get through so much of that paradigm, and it was the medicine that I needed. I was also a cigarette smoker for a very long time. I was smoking a pack of Marlboro Red 100s a day. It's been 11, 12 years now, on September 1st, that I've been without cannabis flower. That I've been without cigarettes, so that's an amazing thing. I forget if it's 11 or 12 years. I forget, and it's not important. So, yeah, she's a dragon. So I was introduced to a sober lifestyle, I would say around like April, May of 2023. And I really tried to remove cannabis from my life, but it was very anxiety producing. And so I went a few weeks maybe without it, maybe a few days, and I couldn't do it. And so I accepted that. And then I got a download in the middle of, I don't know exactly when it was. I'd say August of 2023, that said, they said you have the rest of the year to smoke. My guides and God had said you have the rest of the year to smoke. And again, I was kind of like, okay, maybe. There's one night, it was around Thanksgiving time, November 2023. I was getting out of the shower. And there's only been a few times in my life that God has spoken to me so directly. One of them, if you'd like to watch This Is My Last Human Life video, it's my most popular video that has ever been viewed, so definitely go check that video out. I'll put the link for that below. Because God spoke very directly to me. It was before my awakening. Who was it? I told you, Mars. Yeah, Mars. It's like, it doesn't matter how much tape I put on Mars. It's very interesting. Very interesting when that happens. Palabras certas. So, I was speaking to God, or God spoke to me. I was getting out of the shower and said, we are preventing it from happening. You have until the end of 2023 to smoke. We are preventing it from happening. And I just, like, literally, I'm like crying, full body chill. It's like 3 times in my life has God spoken so directly to me. And so me, as the rambunctious infant baby ram, Aries sun that I am, conjunct Jupiter, I was like, prevent what? Because like God's speaking to me. I could just literally say thank you and pray, but I just say in my mind's eye, it was after a restaurant shift, so I'm a little bit woozy daisical, probably stoned, and was like, prevent what? And all I heard was the beep, beep, beep of being in a hospital. Like the beep, beep, beep. It's all I heard. And I just, done. And so the 30th of December, 2023, smoked my last cannabis, threw the pipe away, no pomp and circumstance. I just was like, I'm done with this. I ingested butter just to sleep in a little bit of 2024. And then there was just a day that it was no more. That it was just absolutely no more. I share that with you. If there is something that you know is detrimental to your physical health, to your trajectory, to your family's life, know it. I feel like this is going to unlock a lot of dreams for a lot of people, or if there's something that is coming through that this is really hitting the nail on the head, we cannot take it with us. You are loved and supported, and what is meant for you is looking for you, but you are actively given the choice. You are actively given the choice. Like I could have in that moment just been like, I'm done. I don't want to be I don't want anything to happen. All of these things. Like I'm still processing that like my singing voice is it sometimes hurts. And I get mad at myself because I'm like, you literally had God telling you not to do this and you were continuously doing it. I was like, I know, addictions. Because I was drinking the amoxicillin because it tasted like bubble gum and I didn't need it anymore. Yeah, cannabis is an incredible plant medicine, but it is a medicine and you don't need it all the time. Or I personally don't. Some people do. Whatever this resonates for you is what it's for you. If this doesn't resonate and you're like, Sarah, I am clean, I have, like none of this is resonating, then just look at where 25 degrees of Pisces and 25 degrees of Virgo is falling in your natal chart. And that's where that full moon eclipse release is going to be. God, my hair is everywhere. I'm sorry about that. That was big. I'm going to take a sip of water for that one. We're going to end this video with the sun, the 22nd, going into Libra. That same day, Venus is going to go into Scorpio. I'm excited about that. Let's get it on. But healthily. Sobriety is a thing right now for most people that are on this path. So, okay, so I'll just place down the Libra equinox, which is the sun. The moon will be in Gemini, which I love. Mercury will be 22. It'll be at 20. Those will pretty much be the same. You'll be at 9 degrees. It's a nice trine. Love that. Love that. Oh, I love that. There will be a trine coming when this gets to, yeah. I'm excited about that. We'll talk more about that trine later on in the season. Oh, wait, this is a 10. Sorry. And the equinox is, God's quarterly, so that will go from here to Cap season. So from the Libra season, Scorpio season, and Sag season, relationships, shared possessions, quest, adventure, and long distance travel. So right now we're still in the energy of the Cancer solstice, home, creativity, and everyday life and practical service. This side of the chart is relationships. This is self. This is public life. And this is home safety, my pocket of the world. I'm going to ask my guides if there's anything else. They always recommend journaling and just understanding that, like, go underneath what it is that I'm saying. If something is not resonating for you, or if something is like, that's not exactly what I'm going through, then just look at it as a parable. Look at it as an analogy. Look at it as a representation of, what does ingesting mean to you? Am I ingesting too much content? Am I, getting lost in the process? Am I getting, lost in the astrology, lost in this? Am I not playing outside? Am I not doing things? Or am I stuck in trauma response? I have a whole video that I've already recorded. I just need to post about like where people get stuck in their awakening and a lot of the story. No, I can't evolve because this happened to me and I've labeled it on my lapel. Like, that's a real thing that happens because our nervous system doesn't know the difference. So your nervous system, if you're repeating the same story and you're receiving the attention that you need to receive because of that story, why evolve? Why lose the attention when, I used to love the attention that I would get where people would be like, oh my God, you swear? And then I would swear all over the place. And it's just like, no, Sarah, your mother slapped you across the face. Deal with your shame. Like, no, I don't have to continue that trauma response to needing attention. I can give myself the attention that I need. And then I can reparent my inner child and let her know that she can ask questions and be confused and not get attacked for not understanding fully what it is that she doesn't understand. I don't have all the answers, my friends. I don't. I just offer what resonates with me, what tools and best practices really have changed my life, and hopefully that resonates with someone out there. I think that's all I got. What questions do you have for me? What are you most excited about? What is your sun, moon, and rising? I'm an Aries sun, Capricorn moon, and a Scorpio rising. My sun is conjunct Jupiter in the 5th house of play. My natal Pluto is conjunct my ascendant in the 12th house. And my natal moon in Capricorn is at 21 degrees in my 3rd house of communication. What about you? I don't have any planets in Virgo, actually. That runs most of my 10th house and then goes into my 11th house. So I'm very strict nowadays as to whom I allow in my inner circle. Very, very strict. Yeah. I'm recording this on a Sunday because tomorrow's the full moon. I'm going to go into my channeled message right after this one. And it's, one of my foundational rules is have a Sunday and just be with yourself, your VIPs, the God of your understanding. But tomorrow's the full moon and I'm not going to be available tomorrow. I'm just going to be riding the wave of the full moon and just nourishing a lot of my inner teenager. I'm letting go of a lot of, you won't see this until after the full moon, a lot of old, it's conjunct my natal Venus. Yeah, my natal Venus is at 24 degrees of Aquarius and the full moon is at 27 degrees of Aquarius. That's in my 4th house of home, my pocket of the world, and safety. And so I've gone through many lenses of being very confused in relationships. There was a time where I was like represented as, poly, pan, and queer and all these things. And now I'm just very celibate, very sober, very feminine. And, I'm excited to have a family with my divine masculine partner on this planet. I'm very excited for that day, and I do everything that I can to become the most authentic and the strongest, yes, yet most vulnerable and self-aware woman that I can be to match him. Yeah, that's it. I can't wait. I got star babies that whether they come in or not, they're there, and I'm focusing on that. I think that's all we got. I love you. Thank you for being here. Please reach out directly to book a session. Like I said, September 2nd, rates are changing. Self-mastery will be launched. I will put my rates out and my new menu on the 28th after Mercury, 28th, 29th after Mercury goes direct. So I feel very good about, like crossing the I's and dotting the T's and stuff like that. I know. That was the point. I love you. I'll see you soon. See you on the other side.